IGP Ipetumodu appoints Benjamin Hundenye as new police public relations officer. On the foreign scene, NATO chief Mark Rutte warns against naivety when dealing with Russia and Putin. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Damilola Raphael. The National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, has decried the disregard for safety guidelines on water transportation by local residents. The General Manager, Business Development at NIWA, Olawale Adetola, stated this in an interview this morning while reacting to the recent boat accident in Niger State that claimed 27 lives. He disclosed that the agency is doing its best to make sure that incidents like this do not happen, from enlightenment of boat operators to the distribution of life jackets to protect lives in case of this kind of accident. But, by and large, people do not adhere to the safety regulations put in place. He said some of those rescued from the Niger boat accident survived because they wore life jackets, while other survivors clung to them. He noticed that the cause of the accident is still under investigation, but from the look of things, the boat most likely ran into a log or a hard object in the water. Adetola, who disclosed that the official death toll remained at 27 as of Thursday morning, said that the agency would go ahead with the investigation and the rescue effort. He further added that the agency will set up a task force for areas where the mishaps are prone to.
Now going seriously into enforcement. But apart from the enforcement, for some of these riverine communities that we are seeing that the incident is becoming frequent, we are looking into setting up community safety committee so that apart from our sensitization and enlightenment, they will go into the nooks and crannies with our staff to still continue to tell them of the need to do this. Then for the operators, based on our investigation, if it is discovered that it is the operator that is at fault concerning the incident, that operator will be prosecuted to the full extent of what the law requires. So those are some of the things we are looking at. It's a more or less carrot and stick. And we are looking into setting up task force too for all these high-prone areas of boat mishap. So in whatever way we can reduce boat mishap and the consequent fatalities, we are looking into it. A report was recently submitted to the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy in the last 1 month on how to prevent and to reduce inevitably the incident of a boat mishap. So those are some of the things we are doing to see.
Meanwhile, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has expressed deep sorrow over the tragic boat accident in Borogo local government area of Niger State, which claims the lives of at least 27 people. According to eyewitnesses, the incident happened at about 11:49 a.m. on Tuesday, while the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA rescue team, arrived at the scene at about 1:33 p.m. The wooden boat, which was reportedly carrying about 138 passengers, capsized along the Shagono-Dunga axis on Kainji Lake. In a condolence message posted on X today, Atiku describes the accident as a painful reminder of the urgent need to enhance safety measures on the country's waterways. The ex-VP stated that boat travel has become an indispensable means of transportation for many Nigerians, calling for the right infrastructure and safety protocols to be put in place. Atiku added that the incident must serve as a wake-up call to authorities to prioritize investment in water transportation safety infrastructure, monitoring, and public awareness so that such occurrences become a thing of the past. To security matters, the Defense Headquarters says troops have killed several terrorists, arrested 85 suspects, and rescued 66 kidnapped victims across the country in the month of August. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kangiye, stated this while briefing newsmen on the operations of the armed forces on Thursday in Abuja. In the northeast, he said troops of Operation Hadinkai eliminated scores of Boko Haram ISWAP fighters, arrested 15 suspects, including 13 collaborators, a gun runner, and a drug peddler, and rescued 8 kidnapped victims. In the northwest, troops neutralized terrorists in Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna, Kebbi, and Katsina states, arrested 23 suspects, and rescued 24 victims. General Kangie added that Operation Wildstroke in Benue, Nasarawa, Taraba, Kogi, and the FCT arrested 9 extremists and rescued 13 hostages. He said overall, the joint operations across all sectors recovered large quantities of arms, ammunition, vehicles, motorcycles, and explosives.
By discussing the operational activities of Joint Task Force Northeast Hadinkai between 29th August, 2nd September this year, growth of Operation Hadinkai sustained the momentum by denying Boko Haram, ISWAP, and just terrorists freedom of action in the northeast region. During the period, our ground forces, in conjunction with air conflict, as well as agri forces and other local security stakeholders, conducted aggressive operations across the Thier. Their effort led to the elimination of terrorists, their logistics suppliers, recovery of weapons, dismantling of terrorist networks, and support for safe resettlement of displaced persons and a safe return to farming activities. Our gallant troops conducted kinetic operations against terrorists in Mapa, Bama, Dambuwa, Goza, Kukawa, Jere, Asirawa, and more local government areas of the state, as well as Duru, Bula towns in Madagali local government area of Adamawa State. During these encounters, groups eliminated scores of terrorists and arrested 2 suspected terrorist accomplices, while 8 kidnapped hostages were arrested.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Air Force says it has killed more than 15 terrorists in an airstrike on a hideout in the Sambisa forest area of Borno State. In a statement issued today by its spokesperson, Air Commodore Ahime Ejodame, the force said the operation was carried out on Wednesday by the air component of Operation Hadinkai. According to him, the strike targeted an enclave west of Zua, identified through intelligence and surveillance as a hideout for fighters and commanders linked to recent attacks around Bita in Goza local government of Borno State. Ejodame said the airstrike destroyed structures used by the insurgents and degraded their operational capacity. The Sambisa Forest, a vast area in the northeast, has served as a stronghold for Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province fighters since the insurgency began in 2009. The Nigerian military has launched repeated operations in the area over the years as part of efforts to weaken the group's presence. A group of discharged Nigerian soldiers on Thursday resumed protests in Abuja, demanding the payment of their entitlements. The ex-soldiers called off their protest on August 4 after a meeting with officials of the Ministries of Defense and Finance, who assured them that their outstanding entitlements would be paid by August 10. The ex-servicemen, who converged on the Ministry of Finance headquarters in the nation's capital, accused authorities of neglect and failure to honor promises made after their meeting. One of the protesters, identified as Mama G, says they were forced to return to the streets after previous assurances yielded no results. This is not the first time the group has demonstrated. In recent years, retired soldiers have repeatedly taken to the streets in Abuja and other cities over what they describe as unfair treatment and neglect. Still with security, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has appointed Benjamin Hundeyin as the new Force Public Relations Officer. Hundeyin's appointment was contained in a statement by the outgoing spokesman of the Nigeria Police Force, ACP Muyiwa Adejobi. The Inspector General of Police charged him to leverage on his communications and security experience to bolster the force's public relations activities and ensure continuous positive relations with the public. In Zamfara State, the third chapter of the All Progressives Congress has criticized Governor Dauda Lawal's recent comments on the security situation in the state, accusing him of harboring bandits and failing to deliver on his campaign promise to end insecurity within 2 months of assuming office. The governor, during a live media chat with local radio stations at the government house in Guzo, said he had the capacity to end banditry in the state within 2 months if given direct control over security agencies. Governor Lawal lamented that the major obstacle to tackling the crisis is that security operatives in the state still take instructions from Abuja rather than the state government. However, in a statement by its publicity secretary, Yusuf Idris, the APC said Governor Lawal's repeated claims of knowing the locations of bandit leaders without acting amounted to complicity. The party accused the governor of politicizing insecurity, claiming he has failed to adequately fund security agencies despite boasting about providing vehicles for them. The opposition party also challenged the governor to review his campaign promises, stressing that his written remarks only highlight his failure to protect lives and properties. To politics, former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has expressed strong displeasure over the police order halting a planned meeting of the African Democratic Congress leaders in the state, insisting the action violated constitutional provisions. The disruption follows violent events at an opposition gathering last Saturday, during which suspected thugs stormed the inauguration of a transition committee in the state, targeting leaders from a coalition, including the ADC, People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and others. The attackers, armed with cutlasses, clubs, and stones, injured several participants and destroyed property, while police presence drew criticism for inaction. But speaking at a press conference at his Kaduna residence this afternoon, El-Rufai said the meeting was meant for the ADC Northwest leadership to commiserate with members over last Saturday's attack by suspected thugs on party members. El-Rufai condemned the violence, describing it as a dangerous descent into lawlessness, and affirmed that lawful political assembly should proceed without undue interference. Speaking further, he accused the police of overreaching their powers, claiming that the State Commissioner of Police obtained a court injunction stopping the meeting without properly serving it on the affected persons. On a rather sad note, the Federal Capital Territory Police has confirmed the loss of 4 lives in a fatal motor accident that occurred yesterday along the Nnamdi Azikiwe Expressway. The police public relations officer, FCT Command, SP Josephine Ade, in a statement issued in Abuja today, said preliminary investigations shows that the driver of the vehicle, one Emeka Ehekweme, was with his wife before they were accosted by 3 unidentified suspects who forcefully entered the vehicle near Berger Junction, Utako. SP Ade noted that the vehicle lost control in the ensuing struggle for control of the steering, struck another parked Mazda vehicle, and somersaulted into a bridge pillar. Ehekweme, his wife, and 2 of the assailants died on the spot, while the third assailant was rushed to the National Hospital. The PRO commiserated with the family of the deceased, further stating that it would carry out thorough investigations into the incident. Here in Osun State, princes from 2 ruling houses from Ipetumodu in Ife North local government area of the state, Ziaribile and Fagbemokun, have begun intense lobbying of Kingmakers for the throne, while also calling on the state government to, with immediate effect, remove the current Kingmakers. The move by the princes comes days after Oba Joseph Oloyede, the Akwetu of Ipetumodu, was sentenced to 56 months in prison by the U.S. District Court after pleading guilty to orchestrating a multi-million-dollar COVID-19 relief fraud scheme. Was in Ipetumodu and now reports.
Some members of the ruling houses in Ipetumodu, Ife North local government area of Osun State, have broken silence on the 4-year jail term handed down to the town's traditional ruler, Oba Joseph Oloyede, by an American court. For some like Prince Adewi Oyerinde of Fagbomokun ruling house, the news has left a stain on the people of Ipetumodu, saying something this disgraceful has never happened in Ipetumodu.
Ó jẹ́ nǹkan ìbànújẹ́ fún wa ní ìlú Ipetumodu. Torí pé bàbá mi ńgbà tí wọ́n wà láyé, ọmọ arójòjò ìyá délé tejiteji. Wọ́n ní òrìṣà tí ìbá ti sí òrìṣà bàbá èèyàn. Téèyàn bá ti ń pa bí fún ìhun ni máa ń hun yàn. That is pé tí ò bá ti jẹ́ nǹkan èèyàn, téèyàn bá ti yọjú sí ìrìkúrì ntí ò bá jẹ́ nǹkan bàbá èèyàn téèyàn bá ti yọjú sí ntí ò yẹ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni ó mọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àsìkò òní yẹn nítorí pé Gbénga Olóyèdé nígbà tí wọ́n gbé wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí Ipetumodu kì í ṣe ìlànà tí wọ́n fi máa ń jẹ ọba ní ìlú Ipetumodu.
For others like Prince Olaboye Ayola from the Aribile ruling house, Ipetumodu believes that the king got what he deserves as he wasn't the rightful heir to the throne. He said according to tradition, the Akpetu of Ipetumodu is usually picked by the gods, but alleged that Oba Joseph Oloyede bribed his way with the help of the Kingmakers.
If we consult Ifa, Ifa will tell us the name, the particular, and the lineage, and the family of the incoming Akpetu. Ifa will tell us, and there won't be any problem. So once Ifa tell us, they will present the name of that person to the Kingmakers. So when the king, after the Kingmakers has done their work and made their endorsement, they will send the letter to Ooni of Ife. After the endorsement of Ooni of Ife, it will be sent to state governor. Then state governor has the final. He will now make the announcement.
Prince Ayola also stated that for the people of Ipetumodu not to be robbed in the mud again, the state government must intervene by removing the current Kingmakers as they, Aribile ruling house, no longer have trust in them. He also stated that the Kingmakers, who allegedly caused confusion at first, have started selecting people to replace Oba Joseph Oloyede based on their pockets.
I'm using this time, this period, to beg our Excellency, Governor Jackson Ademola Adeleke, you bring light to Osun State generally through the work that you have been doing. Ipetumodu has been in darkness for the past 5 years. We want you to use your good offices to bring the same light to this town, Ipetumodu, by giving us, allow us, use your good office to help us choose the rightful heir to the throne of Ipetumodu, which can only be chosen through Ifa.
The monarch who ascended the throne on October 26, 2019, after a hot contest among 10 princes, had earlier demolished their central palace to build a new one before his arrest. This move by Oba Joseph Oloyede didn't go down well with some of the princes, like Prince Taiwo Ayola, who believes it was totally wrong to do such. He also disclosed that the selection process can only take place if the king was dead. But since the king was jailed, he must be replaced by someone else from the same family and not a whole new selection process.
Anybody who had hand in the sale of the ownership of Ipetumodu should be investigated. And the first person to be investigated should be the Afobajets, the Kingmakers, who sold our ownership. And we now said on the Kingmakers, we no longer have confidence in them. We passed, that was our first resolution. We said we have no confidence in them because they will again sell out our legacy.
We visited the community head who also doubles as the head of the Kingmakers in Ipetumodu, Chief Sunday Afolabi, who told us that since the sad incident, the town has been peaceful except for those who want to disrupt the peace of the land. He said due process was followed before Oba Joseph Oloyede was installed as the Akpetu of Ipetumodu. He said if the process wasn't clear, the Osun State government wouldn't have endorsed him. He said for now, no process is on as they want the issue to die down totally before any discussion takes place.
The situation of things in Ipetumodu, like you asked before and now, yes, everything is peaceful. And God has been in control, and He will be in continued control of the Ipetumodu. There is peace. You know this is the center of the town.
Yes.
I don't know how you get here, maybe from the right or from the left. You would have observed that everything is normal here. except for those who are crying wolf when there's none.
From our observation, Ipetumodu looked calm as at the time of filing this report. But rumor has it that some people are planning a protest against the convicted king and also to hasten the state government in selecting a new king. On their part, the Osun State government has stated in clear terms that it will obtain the certified true copy of the judgment of a United States court before making a statement, as they won't act based on social media reports. Joseph Atewe, Western Spring Television News.
You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come. President Tinubu proceeds on annual leave, departs Abuja for Europe. We will bring you more on this when we return.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is here. Dial star 900 hash and recharge 100 naira or more before 5 p.m. and you could be a millionaire. At 7 p.m., all cash prizes will be paid directly into your Momo account. Dial star 90